office is ready as Blue Angel number 7 takes off with Congressman Whitman. CJ, hurt the man. There you go. There's 17 right there. Well, Roman, when you guys are fighting, they fly the guys from the fighting Omars. They fly different tactics than the regular than you guys fly, right?
That's right. Those guys are trained, highly professional in order to fight against the way that our adversaries would fight. That's the way they try to simulate for us, so we can get good practice against other people that you may be fighting out there in the real world.
Now, do you do that at Top Gun out at Fallon, Nevada? They use those same airplanes out at Fallon?
You betcha, sir. They have several different airplanes out in Fallon, including F-5s, F-16s, and F-18s.
Approaching from the left is led by Lieutenant Mob Tremmel, piloting a tanker configured to Super Hornet, a tanker configured Super Hornet from the VFA-31 Tomcatters. In tow and connected to the basket is a thirsty combat-ready Hornet from VFA-106 Gladiators, piloted by Lieutenant Coco Niswand and Lieutenant Rooney Lerner. Once topped off, the Super Hornet will be ready for the fight. So Mob Tremmel is, so to speak, passing gas, right?
He is indeed, sir. One of his specialties.
Start our air-ground demo.
Felix, this is Iron Hand. We have an enemy vehicle within the open show center. We're taking small arm fire. Request you execute an immediate attack.
Felix, level laydown maneuver, flying directly over the target at 500 feet and 500 knots of speed, delivering 2 500-pound bombs. This maneuver allows these pilots to achieve the element of surprise by keeping their aircraft below the enemy's line of sight. And as they enter the target area and deliver their ordnance, they're gone, and before the bad guys even know what hit them.
Felix, this is Iron Head. Good or fast on the first pass. 4 vehicles destroyed. Request follow-on attack. Adjust fire 100 meters northwest. Hit secondary targets.
Felix 1-1 and Felix 1-2 execute a high G repositioning turn to re-attack the area, this time from a completely different direction to throw off enemy gunners. From the right, the Tomcatters will execute a second level laydown. Felix is now executing another high-G maneuver to reposition themselves for a deadly low pop-up strafe attack. From the left, the Felix jets ingress low and pop up, pulling their noses up 20 degrees slightly away from the target area to find the targets visually, and then roll in to deliver rounds from the Hornet's deadly accurate 20mm Vulcan cannon at a rate of 6,000 rounds per minute. Here's the pop-up. Watch him roll in on the target.
Felix, this is Iron Hand. Good effect, good effect. Looks like they're scattering now. Request you come in for a show of force.
Now the Tomcatters set up for their final pass, a 500-foot show of force over the target area to confuse and scatter the remaining enemy combatants. After expending all ordnance. Now tap room 21, piloted by Lieutenant Commander Tiny Schwartz, and tap room 22, piloted by Lieutenant Shrey Whittington, are from the Puke and Dog's ingress to the target area.
Tap room, this is Iron Hand. All enemy vehicles disabled or destroyed. We're now taking small arms fire from the tree line north of our position. Request immediate support.
Tap room 121 and 22 make their ingress from the left as they set up for target area designated. They release their ordnance and deliver it with deadly precision.
Staffroom, good hit. Small on fire decreasing. The reinforcements are inbound on the hardball road. Request you stop their advance at 20 miles.
With fuel and weapons allowing for several more passes to get to the target area, tap room 21 and 22 once again snap on the G's to get back to the target as quickly as possible. With their final pop-up maneuver, the tap room flight intends to straight the targets with their Vulcan. Responding to the forward air controller's call for help, the tap room flight performs a bone-crushing high-G repositioning turn to re-attack the area, this time from the opposite direction. Executing a pop-up attack, the two aircraft will again pull their noses up to 20 degrees slightly away from the target area to be able to visually acquire the intended targets, then roll into a 10-degree dive. Set up for their final pass. A 500-foot level laydown to put some final warheads on foreheads. Demonstration will showcase the superb maneuverability of the FA-18 in the air-to-air environment. Modern fighter aircraft possess a robust, beyond visual range capability, able to shoot down hostile aircraft at ranges where the pilots would be unable to see each other. However, history has proven the air-to-air encounters will likely break down into a violent turning engagement known as a dogfight. Each pilot in a dogfight attempts to maximize the performance of their aircraft, fighting in a three-dimensional chess match that the pilots refer to as Basic Fighter Maneuvering, or BFM. The first engagement pits an FA-18E flown by Lieutenant Commander Disney Stevenson from the Tomcatters of VFA-31, using the call sign Sweep 31. He is facing off against Commander Sting Boren of VFC-12, acting as the Red Air in Viper 1. When the engagement begins, be sure to note the unique paint scheme on Viper 1's aircraft, helping aid in the accurate simulation of aircraft from around the world. This is one of those times where when you're in basic fighter maneuvering, you've got your head on a swivel and you're going every which way but loose.
You betcha, sir. It's hard sometimes once you're under G to keep your head moving around, but we train to it every day, and this is a great way to practice.
Now, you will experience some G forces up to 7, 8, and sometimes 9 times the force of gravity.
Speed as they merge and hopefully go center.
500 feet, a closing speed of somewhere around 800 miles per hour?
Yes, sir, somewhere between 800 and 1,000 miles per hour as these two fighters approach each other for the merge.
Fights on!
Approaching his adversary's 6 o'clock position in a perfect position to employ his weapons. Now watch as the Super Hornets come in front of the crowd with Sweep 3-1 in the position to employ on the adversary. That would be, sir, that would be.
Hornet drivers practice their BFM skills regularly, both within their own squadrons and against other aircrew who are trained to simulate the performance and tactics used by pilots of other countries. The Fighting Omars of VFC-12 are world-class professionals in the mission of simulating enemy aircraft. These adversary pilots are known as the Red Air. Next up, Lieutenant Commander Tank Myers from the Tomcatters of VFA-31, call sign Sweep 32, versus Lieutenant Commander Hack Alderman from VFC-12 in Viper 2.
Now here, Sweep 22 gains airspeed rapidly as he approaches the merge from the right, and Viper 2 matches his maneuver on the left. Viper 2 pulls up hard, setting up for a follow-on merge. Viper 2 made a mistake, giving up the final turning grip. Sweep 22 capitalizes as the flight progresses downhill. Uses his advantage to take a missile shot.
Simone from the right. At top speed of over 350 miles per hour, the eyes of the fleet, the E-2C Hawkeye. Flying today's demonstration aircraft is Lieutenant Chris Lobot Martin. His co-pilot is Lieutenant Rick Hairgel Phillips. And in the aft section, Lieutenant Cal Killer Thomas, the Combat Information Center officer. The Hawkeye demo team is from the Greyhawks of VFA-143 in Norfolk, Virginia, under the command of Commander Todd Cowpie Watkins. Now from the right, here comes the E-2C Hawkeye. The E-2C Hawkeye, or Hummer, as it is known in the fleet, is easily distinguished by its 24-foot diameter rotating radome and its 4 vertical stabilizers. With a total crew of 2 pilots and 3 naval flight officers, the E-2C Hawkeye is the largest active carrier-based aircraft in the world. Its mission is to provide airborne command and control to air wing and strike fighter aircraft, as well as coordination and communication to the strike crew. With 2 turboprop engines developing over 5,000 horsepower each, the Hawkeye possesses the impressive handling characteristics for an aircraft of its size. Although unarmed, it is not defenseless. The E-2C can use its maneuverability to defend itself from airborne threats. Watch closely as this 27-ton aircraft executes a 360-degree turn within a radius of less than half a mile. Hundreds of miles from the carrier, the Hawkeye can use a vast array of sensors to detect potential threats and relay this information directly to the strike group commander. It's the U.S. Navy's primary command and control platform, and it has been since 1963. It's played a vital role in the Vietnam War and Operations Desert Storm, Iraqi Freedom, and Enduring Freedom. Watch as Lieutenant Martin uses the large control surfaces of the Hawkeye to hold a high angle of bank turn with minimal turn rate to give you a better look at the radar dish that is the center of the Hawkeye's mission. From the right, the Hawkeye Dome By, as you can see it working its way in. That brought us the Wildcat, the Hellcat, the Bearcat, the Tiger Cat, and the Tomcat. With its tail hooked down, as you can see the Hawkeye now repositioning with a high angle of bank turn. It'll demonstrate an approach to an aircraft carrier. Navy aircraft will use a dramatic left turning maneuver called the brake to rapidly decelerate from combat speeds to safe landing speed. And the pilot will use G-forces to slow the airplane, drop the gear and landing flaps, complete complete his landing checklist and establish an appropriate speed for landing. Earlier, during flight operations on the carrier, aircraft are landed at a rate of 1 every 45 seconds. It is a tremendous chess game, played at incredibly high speeds to get as many aircraft on the deck as quickly as possible. On behalf of the men and women that proudly fly and maintain the UCC Hawkeye, we want to thank you for the opportunity to demonstrate one of the Navy's most important and capable carrier aircraft. Let's hear it for the UCC Hawkeye. The Red Devils jump. Chris McKenna will be bringing in the flag. Leading the two men with the flag. High overhead. They get overhead and just about a quarter mile past show center. Maybe a little farther. They'll depart the aircraft from that altitude of about 5,000 feet above the ground. The aircraft will travel at 120 miles per hour, about the same speed of a parachute in free fall. We've got jumpers away. In a moment, we can see the canopy come. A little bit because there we've got a canopy out right now. Pulling on the steering line for a very, very crisp left or right turn. The flag is out, and in just a moment, I'm going to ask all of you within the sound of my voice to stop what you're doing. Come to attention. And now let's German formation led by Commander Loeb Shipberry of VFA-31, with Lieutenant Stumble Dodgemore on his right wing as well.
And Lieutenant Bob Trimble, the guy who's best job is passing gas, followed by Lieutenant Tiny Schwartz, VFA-143 flying in squad position.
Section led by Commander CJ Simonsen, Lieutenant Commander James Myers on his wing. We'll see that coming from the left in just a second. As they do their carrier break over the inner runway, which is closed, and land on the outer, which is obviously still open.
About 4 miles out, you got the two planes sweep flight on their inbound right now. And led by Lieutenant Commander CJ Simonsen with Lieutenant Commander James Myers on his wing. Piloted by Lieutenant Coco Dijuan with Lieutenant Rudy Lerner from VFA-106. Ladies and gentlemen, your United States Navy strike fighters.
I love it. Roman, thank you very much. Lieutenant Justin Packer, we got him on the ground. Bill Left's getting ready to take off again and do his full show. And Roman, thank you very much for helping make this easier. I think of the coordination it takes to do this just among the airplanes we have here. In real time, in real combat, you guys do an amazing job, and we thank you for your service.
Yes, sir, it's my pleasure, and we certainly thank everyone out there in the crowd that supports us here today.
Thanks, buddy. target is up. They will continue outbound right now. accelerating to terminal velocity, 120 miles per hour. This is one of the most exciting sensory experiences a person can actually live through. To be free falling at 120 miles per hour and see literally hundreds of square miles of the Virginia area. 1, 2, and 3 canopies open. Notice as one of the jumpers quickly spirals down, achieving speeds of about 60 to 70 miles per hour. The bottom 2 jumpers appear to have collided. They did not. They are doing canopy relative work, or crew, where they are literally connecting up in a 2-stack. Going now for a 3-stack. 2 other jumpers with smoke, traveling at forward speeds in excess of 25 miles per hour. Turning their parachutes in the same way the Wright brothers steered their original flyer back in 1903. They change the shape of the wings. They do wing warping. To turn left, the jumper will pull on the left steering line. To turn right, the jumper will pull on the right steering line. Incredibly maneuverable. With a 3-stack high end to the right and the other jumpers working their way in towards the target. From 10,000 feet is where they made their jump on this pass. Nearly 2 miles high. They are working in toward the target and will land very accurately along the target. In the triplane now, working all 3 jumpers on the right, have worked into a side-by-side and deploying their smoke. What a beautiful sight that is. Now watch, this is the free fall photographer working his way in with a small canopy, only about 90 square feet in about 65 square feet in diameter, and a beautiful tiptoe landing coming in at a forward speed at some 40 miles per hour. The British flag being brought in right now. The target, there for that jumper. Remember, from 10,000 feet, these jumpers have the ability to land on the center of that target on a dot just about the size of a pie pan. Turning base leg and now pulling hard to final, pointing into the wind for final approach. Here comes the British flag. Let's hear it for the Red Devils. Hook turns. With beautiful stand-up landings all along. 2 jumpers still aloft. Flying patterns like they would at an airport, with a downwind or with the wind pattern, then turning 90 degrees or base leg to the target area, then turning another 90 degrees inbound on their final approach to land into the wind for the safest and softest landing possible. Down. Look carefully. Now look carefully. This is a much larger canopy because there are actually 2 jumpers. This is what is known as a tandem jump. The jump master from the Red Devils is behind, and on the front is AE2 Erica De Palma from here at Naval Air Station Oceana. Give her some, make some noise, she can hear you. Now before she touches down, she'll pull her legs up as they hook around. Oh boy, headed in toward the grass. They are and gentlemen, let's hear it for the Red Devils. Let's watch and let's listen as they come by.